It's Rachel Kaplan still from the Healing Feeling Shit Show, licensed psychotherapist, talking about feelings. Now, if you haven't watched the video about the basics of feeling your feelings, go back. Just find it. This is a second specific video of how to feel your feelings, so I don't want you to get confused. So, where I left you in that last very important video is that you got curious, you touched where your body is like ripe with feeling, where the intensity is clustering of those sensations, and hopefully you're giving yourself permission, maybe speaking out loud or internally, words of validation and permission, like it's okay to feel that way, of course you do. The next move is that, and this move actually helps you have compassion for this part of you, because most of us are really not that nice to the parts of us that have hard feelings. We're like, what are you doing? I gotta get on with things. People think I'm lame if they knew I felt this way. And so sometimes we have more compassion if we think of ourselves like the little part, the kid part, the younger part, the innocent part. In another video, I told you to find a picture of yourself when you were a little tender bunny. And I don't mean you were a bunny, I mean like a little kid bunny. And put it on your home screen, or put it on your altar or your counter. If you don't have an altar, you're like, what is this California hippie talking about? Anyway, put it somewhere. It's like, start to relate to that little you. So one of the helpful tools when trying to feel the feeling is to imagine that you are sitting with, stumbling upon this little you who's really sad or really scared. Because hopefully, if you're not totally dead in the heart and filled with hate, sorry, hopefully you have some sense of like, aw. And if you can't find that or muster that for yourself, imagine if it was a dog you know, or a kid that's not you, that you know that you would feel sad for them if they were feeling sad. This is a move that I've taught most of my clients. I learned it in an interesting way. This arm, the left arm, you fold it over your left shoulder and put it right over your heart, which is on the left side. Hashtag science. Then you take the right arm and you pet the left arm. And so the left arm, to me, represents that little sad Rachie. And the right arm is like the grown-up who's like, oh, babe, yeah, I got you, and you can do some of this, like rock the part. You can also get a little shoulder massage, because a lot of people aren't getting enough touch right now. But anyway, so you're like soothing this part and holding this part and relating to it like it's a little different than you part. And hopefully that gives a little bit of space to the feeling where it starts to feel safe to come out, because it's finally getting attention and care. Now here's the next move, and it's gonna be completely contradicting. Then, so I call that conversing. So you can talk to the part, you can ask it questions, you can hold it, you're conversing with this younger part of you that is in pain. The next part, though, is called becoming. And that's when you have to realize, wait, I am that part. That pain is in me. I was that little kid. I was that little innocent person. So then you're like, you kind of like become the little part, and then you picture the experience you're having from within the pain. But ideally, you also want to still be relating to the fact that there is this mature, resourced, grown-up consciousness witnessing this pain. So then you can, sometimes it's useful to like grab a stuffed animal or a pillow, and you feel the feelings because you're the part now, and you're holding this thing, getting the soothing and hopefully rocking and crying. This is like the peak of your emotional release. Hopefully it's like the orgasm or the climax or whatever. So hopefully, you know, and you can use music. I'm going to talk about stuff like that in the next video about bandwidth, but you can use music, you can use whatever. You could do this in a bathtub, which is really nice. I'll give you some other tips soon. But so you are conversing, and then you're becoming, and then when you're like, okay, three seconds between pops, there's no more feeling I can do, that's it, and I have to go back to work soon. Then you want to like kind of shift back into the grown-up, where you're like in your resourced part, and you're like, okay, I think I'm okay. And from that part, you do a very special skill, which I'm gonna make its own video about, because people really screw up the whole process by overusing this skill. But it's called reality testing. That's what I call it. And that's when you're like, okay, was that feeling really true? Now, the way people, in one sentence, mess up with reality testing is you do it too soon. You do not want to do this once you're starting to tune into that feeling. If that part's like, I'm really sad, nobody loves me, you do not convince it out of it. You just don't. You're like, yeah, nobody loves you. Because you were trying to have it move. You want to feel how part of you feels like nobody loves you. Even though you know it's not true, Like all of you doesn't know it's not true. So you want to sink to the bottom of the well of feeling, and there's a door there. And you're not going to try to crawl up the sides until you absolutely are at the bottom, or at least the bottom for that day. And then maybe there's a breakthrough that happens through the bottom. If not, that's when you shift back to your resource self and you start doing things like, now, is that really true that nobody loves you? Or is it actually true that like Bob and Gina really love you? Or whatever. And you look for pretty grounded thoughts, like not blown out thoughts, like everybody loves you, because your little parts are not going to buy that. And I don't either, because I don't even know you. Just joking. But anyway, so really grounded, basic, believable thoughts to even the wounded parts of you. And then you reality test for a little bit. And then when you feel like you're back to yourself and you're not going to yell at your boss or your partner or like do something really dumb, like, you know, quit your job because you were sad, or like tell your mom off because that one time, you don't do that. You just, once you feel resourced, then you go back to your life. And it's not a great time while you're in those feeling parties to like make big moves. You want to make decisions about how to direct your life when you're back to that grown-up self who can reality test and is well resourced. But that's the deal. Those are the advanced skills. More soon.
This is the healing, feeling shit show. Are you gonna have that feeling and let it go? There is no other way to feel whole. This is the healing, feeling shit show.